Now, my Uncle Bert was the second youngest out of a litter of 13. My grandma was the second oldest. So on the farm, that meant she was pretty much responsible for raising him, but they were kind of opposites. My grandma was a very serious woman, and Bert was anything but. He'd look to make a joke, pull your leg, pull a prank on you. He was quite something. I mean, I hung out with him and when I was a kid, and so did my mother. But Bert, well, he was a farmer when I knew him, a Shasta County man. He told me once he rode the rodeo, and he said he was about the best in all the land until he met Sternwheeler. Bronchi never should have tried. Throwed him off right at the gate, and Bert landed hard, hard on his backside. Now, Sternwheeler could have run off, but instead he wheeled around and he trampled my poor uncle while he lay there on the ground. Now, Bert never rode another horse from that day on to this, and he always said that cowboy life was something he sure don't miss. So he traded in his cowboy duds for some farmer's overalls and digging in the fertile ground instead of mucking stalls. That's a good trade there. It really is. And he took to looking on the rosy side and mostly poking fun at anyone within the range of his unwieldy tongue. Now, Bert would walk into a crowded room, clear his throat, and then he'd shout, "I tell you what!" Pause for effect, turn around, and just walk out. Now, I was a kid back then, so I'd always follow him, and I'd ask him, Uncle Bert, what was it you was telling us?" "That's right," said Uncle Bert. "What's right?" I'd answer, puzzled. "Well, you're right again. Boy, you're one smart kid." Well, I'd scratch my head and wonder just exactly what I said. Then when I got all of his attention back and talking really slow, I'd say, "Uncle Bert, now you said you'd tell us what?" And then he'd say, "Well, what is what I told you, so now you know." Well, I loved old Bert no matter what he did. I wish he was here today when I was still a kid, but Sternwheeler finally got him when he was on his way to 61. I guess old Bert got throwed for good when his rodeo days were done. So one day I went to pay my respects at his old boneyard plot, and his tombstone said, Birchall W. Boyle, 1901 to 1961. And under that, it said simply, a cowboy. And I said, I tell you what,